Okay, so in this part, let's make this facet here. We just do it on the side here to make everything simple. We'll just begin with a circle, make it, let's see, 16 vertices. Where is it? Here. Go to edit mode, extrude that. So we have something like that. Turn on smooth shading, and then you can see this detail there. We can add a loop around there. Then Control B to bevel that. Remove that edge, extra edge. E, Shift S to have that inset. And then we can, I think we can turn on smooth shading, auto smooth, so that we don't lose that sharpness. And maybe we can also add a few rounded bevel here, so that it's not too sharp. And we can do the same to the top, so just fill that in and then Control B to bevel that. Maybe let's add in a few loops like that. Now for the facet itself, or the facet nose, what we're going to do is utilize a trick I showed you in a previous tutorial on how to make pipes or bended pipes like this. So we are just going to add a plane. Let me snap the cursor there. Add a plane, rotate it 90 degrees, scale this down like that. So around there. Then delete that vertex. Then for this corner here, to make this corner, I'm just going to bevel this edge. Control Shift B. Then use the middle mouse wheel to add in as many vertices as you want. So let's make it curved around there. Then, so that would be our facet. So this was 16 vertices. So we can go in and convert this object, this mesh, into a curve, and then under the curve settings, under geometry, we want this to have a bevel. Let's go to, but you can see it's not complete, so we need to go back up and change the fill mode to full. Sorry, full. But you see the resolution is not enough, so we need to have the same vertices, maybe not exactly the same because it won't matter. So let's just to make it more rounded, let's add more resolution for the bevel, and maybe something like that to make it look smooth. Then maybe this is too wide, so let's reduce the depth to around there. I don't know if that's, I don't know if it's, I think it's too large, so let's just scale it down, move it back up like that, then convert this back into a mesh. So convert mesh, turn on smooth shading. Now we just need to join this to this using Boolean. So select this, then there's a way to do this in edit mode. So if you select both meshes, you can join them, and then you can select this part. Forgetting the process, is it mesh booleans? Mesh boolean face boolean. It's just making a cut. So let's see. Actually, that's how it's supposed to be. So just go under face and then boolean, and then the operation here should be union. So we have something like that. Now we just need to deal with the extra vertices that have nowhere to go. Let's see, how are we going to handle these? So I think we can just, let me see, how can we, if we select, let me just make cuts here. So if I select this, and this and this, okay, this is this and this, add a low cut, and this needs to be pushed loop cut here. Now let me delete this face, and then delete this face and this and this here, so that I can find out an easy way to join them. I don't want to end up with a lot of vertices that we don't need, so that's why I'm doing this like this. So I can join this to this. There are better ways to do this, but just choosing the fastest, not the most efficient. I think we can select this loop here. Let's recalculate normals below that. You don't even need that, it won't be that visible. So kind of smooth shading, you can see we see a few segments here, so we can go to the normals here and increase the angle like that. I think we also have a few details here that we are missing, so let's add those in. Something like that, and then we have our facet. The details here are a bit blurry, so I don't know how I'm going to approach that. So let me just add a loop here, and then maybe below this, and convert this into a circle like that, and this is going to be our control or turning. Yeah. We can make this a bit rounded. We're just selecting this and giving it a bevel. To make it more interesting, I think we can select this top part. Make sure that our cursor is at cursor to selected, cursor to selected, and we can separate this using Y and then rotating that at the cursor. like that. Now we can bring this facet into our scene. So you just need to set it somewhere there. So cursor to selected, then selection to cursor. But it needs to be to scale, so I will scale this up like that. Now maybe this part here needs to be extended. And this has to be a bit taller than this, and pushed like that. Now maybe let's make this light here. So that should be easy. Can begin with a circle. Just give it around 20 vertices. I'll rotate it 90 degrees. Go to edit mode, extrude, extrude scale, extrude, move, scale in. Now just to make this curve here, I don't know if you can see it, let's scale that in and then use the bevel tool to bevel that. Turn on smooth shading and also auto smoothing like that. And can add a loop here and then add another one and push that in along its normals, so we have some details in like that. And then select this edge loop here, extrude in like that, then extrude in the X, scale, extrude, scale, extrude for a good distance like that. Now we just need to make this part here, so I'll just duplicate this 8p, origin to cursor, origin to geometry, rotate this 90 degrees, and scale, extrude, maybe add a loop here, bevel that, extrude, scale, then add a loop, scale, and then bevel. Smooth shading, extrude, scale, then extrude, then bevel, then extrude, 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 then select this loop, bevel, and then we can also select this, maybe add another loop here, then extrude, scale in the X and Y plane, or remove that edge loop, select these two and bevel those, like that. And we have our lamp almost done. Then we can extrude again, extrude, extrude, so we have something like that. Then select this here, shift D, extrude down, then scale out, and you can select in the entire thing, extrude, scale in the XY plane. Maybe this is too much, this is too thick. Then you can select these and bevel those to make them a bit rounded. Smooth shading. And we just need the bulb. That should be simple. Select this loop, shift D, scale in, push it up a bit, extrude down, go at wireframe, scale in, extrude down, scale, push that out, then extrude, then merge to the center, then push that in, then select that loop, bevel that at maybe scale it up, then bevel, add more loops, select these, turn on smooth shading. Now we have a bulb. So we're not going to add, if you want you can add the subdivision surface, but it's not necessary because we're using enough vertices to make this look rounded enough, and from a good distance the facets that you see on close-up won't be that visible. And yeah, so we could have got away with using less vertices in this, using less edge loops in the vertical space, but the problem with that is that then we would have to rely on the subdivision surface to make it smooth, which will add more subdivision or more vertices. That would slow it more. That would slow down the project more than just using more edge loops to begin with. So let's bring this, go to edit mode, then let's add a circle. We can use 12, rotate this 90 degrees, scale this up, extrude, select those, hit F, then we can select these, inset, extrude, scale in the Y direction, then bevel, Ctrl B, and then also you can also bevel these. If you want, you can select these, inset, extrude, and basically we can have that connected like that, and I joined these to have one object like this. Then we can move into our scene, rotate this 90 degrees, and apply the rotation and scale, bring that, make sure it's sitting on the wall directly. Make an instance out D, put it on the left like that. And for the mirror, I do have a project where I made a bunch of different mirror designs, so I would just use those instead of making that from scratch. I also have some switches, and these items we're not going to model directly step by step. We do need the handle though, so let's make the handle, the bathroom handle. So let's add a plane, rotate this 90 degrees, go to edit mode, let's delete this edge, select these two vertices, Ctrl Shift B, around that, and we are done. So we just need to convert these into a curve, then increase this size, then full resolution, then convert back. Let's reduce this a bit, something like that, then convert back to a mesh, convert, thank you, that to a mesh, mesh, turn on smooth shading, and then select this, hit E. We can change the pivot point to individual origins, then scale this, then extrude in the Y direction, then extrude and then scale, Then we can select those loops there and give them a small bevel like that. And we have our handle. So this also needs to be mirrored on the other side. So mirror like that. Scale this down. Maybe it shouldn't be that long, so we can push this in. It looks a bit too big, so we can scale it down a bit, push it here. So which one should it be attached to? I think it should be attached to this one. And we just parent that. So when we rotate this, remember this should have this pivot point there. So origin to pivot point. I took 3D cursor. Now if we rotate this, we need to push this back to position. So when we rotate this, actually let's keep it a bit open like that. I already did a tutorial on how to make this shower head, so I'll just copy that and paste it in here. What else? We can already have these sockets. This I have a toilet seat. So let's see how to add in more assets here in the next tutorial.